Hello friends, my name is Sumit and you are watching CTX Cloud Tech videos. So today we are going to install our vCenter server. So in our last video, we have seen that how to create a physical NIC, how to add a physical NIC, how to create a virtual standard switch, how to create a port group, how to create a VM kernel NIC, how to add the storage on esxi server. So now it's the time to install our vCenter. So to install the vCenter, make sure you have the ISO of vCenter. So I have the ISO of vCenter. So let me go inside my server where I have put my ISO. So this is my AD server and here I have put all the ISOs which is required for my lab. So I am going to mount this ISO. So once you guys will mount the ISO, you guys have to click on VCSA UI installer. So click here, click on Windows 32 and here is the setup file. So click on installer, click on run as administrator. So once you guys will click on run as administrator, so you guys have two few options. The first one is install, the second one is upgrade, the third one is migrate, and fourth one is restore. So we are installing a fresh vCenter here, so we will go with the click on install vCenter. So once you guys will select this, so it is asking deploy a vCenter. So yes, we want to deploy a vCenter. Click on next. Here you guys have to accept all the terms and conditions which is provided by the VMware. So I have selected this. Click on next. Here you need to select where you want to deploy the vCenter server. So you guys need to give the fully qualified domain name of your esxi server or the IP address. So in my case, I'm giving my IP address, which is 192.168.1.34. Yeah, that's correct, because the 34 is the esxi fourth server which we have created from starting our lab. So it works on port number 443 and you have to give a default root password, root username and password for this esxi vCenter server. So I am giving root and giving the password and click on next. So these information you guys are giving for the esxi server. So whatever the username and password you have on your esxi server, so make sure give the that correct username and password. So click on next. So it accepted, it's detected the yes, there is a esxi server where we can deploy the vCenter. So it is giving a certificate warning which we can accept it. Click on next. Now it's time to give a vCenter VM name. So I am giving ctx vcsa02 and that's fine. So let me see the recommendations. So let me cut this and that's fine. I'm giving this name. The next one is, let me give the fully qualified domain name which I want to give, ctxcloud.in. What is the password you want to give? So give that password according to your lab or your environment. So click on next. Here you want to, it is asking so what type of infrastructure you have. So it's if it is the 2 vCPUs and 12 GB of RAM and 579 of storage, it can host up to 10 hosts and 100 VMs. So I think that's enough if you want to create a small lab, but I am giving with the second option. So the second option is 4 vCPUs, 90 GB of RAM, and that's much. So I am giving with my small and click on, I think that's default is fine. Storage type is default. Click on next. So it is saying that you do not have enough 19 GB of RAM which is required on esxi server. So no problem. Let me go right now with two. I mean, if we want to provision up to 100 GB, 100 VMs, so that's fine because I do not want to create more than this infrastructure. So let me go with the tiny, which require 2 vCPU and 12 GB of RAM. So that's fine. Click on next. Here you need to select the storage because CTX Pro's storage we have already mounted in our last video. So I'm going to select the storage, enable thin provision. So what is the thin and thick provision? So thin is that, let's say you have assigned 100 GB of hard disk to a server. So if you will go with the thick provision, so all 100 GB of disk get deducted from the storage. So it's like one time 100 GB of storage get deducted from your storage. But in the thin provision, whenever the file size will increase, so with that your storage is going to deducted from the NAS server or from your fiber channel storage. So I am going with the thin provision and click on next. So SAN we are not going to deploy right now. So select the VM network, that's fine. IPv4 version, static IPv4. So we want to go with the static and fully qualified domain name. So you can give that ctx vcsa 02 dot ctx cloud dot in, IP address 192.168.1.9, default gateway is 255.255.255.0, default gateway is 192.168.1.1. So that's the default subnet mask, and that's the default gateway. So DNS server is 192.168.1.10. So that's the DNS server. Click on next and click on finish. So now you guys can see that it start deploying the vCenter server on my esxi server. So let me show you. So here you guys can see that one virtual machine start creating here, which is vcsa01. So we will see all this configuration once my vCenter get deployed, and we will be, I'm pausing this video because there is a second part which will come up after a few minutes. So I will show that and we will bind this video after complete. Now I am about to complete my installation. So 97% of installation has been completed for the first stage of vCenter deployment. After that, the second stage of deployment will start. So let's wait for a few minutes. Now it's 99%. So reaching about to complete the installation. So you guys can see that the installation first stage of deployment of vCenter has been completed successfully. So now it's the time to continue with the second stage of deployment. So click on continue. And the next wizard will open from the vCenter type. So just wait. So here you guys need to give the root username for the vCenter appliance. So I'm giving 4225. Okay, it's giving an error, HTTP error. So it's saying root. Then let me try to give the password. So it's still loading. And vCenter has been successfully installed. However, the additional configuration you need to do on the vCenter appliance. So click on below to continue. So let me check here. So now you have to click on setup. So it is saying that vCenter 7.0 has been successfully installed. However, additional step must be completed. It will be available to use. Click on the link below to continue setup. So I am going to click on setup. So click here. Okay. Click on next. So again, you have to define your IPv4 address, assign the static IPv4. So it is IPv4. You have to check all the configuration which you have given earlier. So ctx vcs0.cloud.in. So this is the IP address. This is the subnet mask, default gateway. This is fine. Time synchronization, I'm skipping at this moment. So later on we can configure. Click on next. So now it's asking for single sign-on domain. So I'm sending vsphere dot local administrator, then password, because later on we are going to join this to the domain. So click on join SSO domain. So I'm not using this right now. Click on next and click on next and click on finish. Click on OK. So now you guys can see that the stage 2 has been started for the installation of vCenter. So let's wait for a few minutes. And so finally guys, my vCenter installation has been completed for the second stage, and let me try to, so you guys can see that if you guys want to access this vCenter, so you guys can log in https ctx vcsa02.ctxcloud.in.5480 is the appliance, and if you will put enter simple IP address https 192.168.1.9, you guys can log in into the vCenter. So you guys can see that my vCenter screen. So let me try to log in here. So here you guys need to enter the username and password which we have given while giving the SSO login, SSO username and password. So that was the administrator @vspare.local, and that's the password. And let me try to log in here. So it's taking time to load, and now it seems loaded. Okay, so still we are waiting for the configuration, and you guys can see that now I have to go into host and cluster, and this is my vCenter. So you guys can see that there is a warning for managed license, and here's the CPU and memory utilization of this vCenter VCSA01. So guys, that's the end of this video. In our next video, we are going to create a data center, and in that data center we are going to add our esxi hosts. So just stay connected with the citrix cloud, and if you guys have any confusion or any questions, so just put your questions in the comment section, so I will try to reply all the questions. So thank you so much guys.